We're all familiar with stubborn belly fat, but there's an invisible type of fat that can't be seen called visceral fat. This fat wraps around your liver, kidneys, and intestines like a suffocating blanket, and it's much more than just stored energy. Visceral fat is biologically active, releasing inflammatory chemicals that heighten your risk of diabetes and heart disease. But what happens when you finally break this cycle, and your body decides to shed this deep fat? Today, we're exploring the fascinating biological journey of its release. This is precisely what happens to your body, from your hormones to your heart, when visceral fat starts to diminish. Part 1. The hormonal shift. Visceral fat isn't passive. It functions as an endocrine organ, producing proteins called cytokines that maintain a state of chronic, low-level inflammation in your body. The moment you enter a caloric deficit or increase metabolic demand, a hormonal shift occurs. Insulin, the fat storage hormone, begins to decrease, while your body simultaneously produces more adiponectin. Adiponectin is a beneficial hormone that helps your muscles utilize carbohydrates for energy more efficiently. Think of it as a biological green light. As inflammation subsides, your brain's communication with your fat cells improves. You might notice improved mental clarity or a stabilized mood even before seeing changes on the scale. Part 2. The shrinking organ pressure. Unlike subcutaneous fat, visceral fat exerts physical pressure on your internal organs. When this fat starts to recede, your organs finally gain space. Your liver is among the first to benefit. Visceral fat is directly linked to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and as fat leaves the liver, its ability to detoxify blood and manage cholesterol significantly improves. Your heart also benefits, as it no longer needs to pump blood through a congested abdominal area. This often leads to a measurable drop in blood pressure within just a few weeks of consistent fat loss. Surprisingly, even your breathing improves. Reduced pressure on the diaphragm results in deeper, more efficient breaths. Part 3. The metabolic fire. A common question is where the fat actually goes. It doesn't just melt away. Instead, it's converted into energy through a process called beta oxidation. As your body breaks down triglycerides from your visceral fat stores, they enter the bloodstream as free fatty acids. These travel to your mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, where they are burned to create ATP, or cellular fuel. The byproducts of this metabolic fire are primarily carbon dioxide and water. You literally exhale about 84% of the fat you lose through your lungs, while the remaining 16% exits your body as water through sweat or urine. When visceral fat is released, you are quite literally breathing it out. Part 4. Long-term systemic reset. After a few months of losing visceral fat, your metabolic set point begins to shift. Your body becomes much more insulin sensitive, meaning your blood sugar levels remain stable, and you no longer experience the crashes that trigger intense sugar cravings. Furthermore, your leptin signaling improves. Leptin is the hormone that signals to your brain that you're full. When you have high visceral fat, you often become leptin resistant, meaning your brain can't receive the signal to stop eating. As the fat diminishes, this signal clarifies, and you'll find yourself naturally satisfied with less food. So, how do you initiate this significant release? Science indicates that visceral fat is actually easier to lose than subcutaneous fat because it's more metabolically active. It responds quickly to high-intensity interval training, HIIT, to boost growth hormone, reduced refined sugars to keep insulin levels low, and quality sleep to manage cortisol, the stress hormone known to promote visceral fat storage. When visceral fat begins to dissipate, you're not just losing weight, you're gaining years of life. You're reducing inflammation, freeing your organs, and resetting your biology. If you found this explanation helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more in-depth analyses of health science. And tell me in the comments, what's one health change you've noticed since starting your journey?
This video is for educational purposes only and isn't medical advice. If you have any medical conditions or take prescription medications, please talk to your doctor before making any changes.